The San Jose Sharks host the Montreal Canadiens. Let's dig into a big matchup for the Habs.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL's Tuesdays. I want to thank you again for making Locked On Sharks your first or might be your second listen of the day as we preview the Sharks-Canadiens. Just as a reminder, these kind of nice little 8 to 10 minute bite-sized episodes are only available on YouTube, so you can get to know who the Sharks are playing tonight. So these Sharks do host, like I said, the Montreal Canadiens. So let's get started by getting to know this Canadiens team. The Canadiens entering this game are 24, 23, and 5 in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. 5-game losing streak, including an OT loss on there as well. They have definitely hit the skids here as of late. So Sharks, of course, 15-33. And 6. They lost their last game on Thursday night to the Seattle Kraken. And this is a big game for the Sharks, who are first game without Mikael Granlund here. So the Canadiens are kind of middle in the pack. They're 16th when it comes to goals for per game at 2.90. Goals allowed 3.35, 28th. Power plays at 20.3%. Penalty kill 82.5. That is 5th in the NHL. Sharks scoring 2.61 goals per game, giving up the worst in the NHL, 3.67. Power play, bottom of the group at 17.5%. PK, right around the same, 76.4%. Cole Caulfield leads the Canadiens in goals with 25. Suzuki leads in assists and points at 36 and 51. Tyler Toffoli, most goals for the Sharks at 18. William Eklund, with Granlund gone, takes over as the assist holder with 27. And Macklin Celebrini leads the team in points. Looking at this matchup, the Canadiens power play, they don't draw a lot of penalties, but they do score a fair amount of goals, especially with Patrick Laine, who I know has been kind of dipping there, but definitely a weapon for the Canadiens. Their Canadiens solid team at kind of creating expected goals for as well. Maybe not the most shots. They're a quality over quantity team when it comes to their offense. The defense is much like the Sharks. I think both these defenses might struggle in this game, but we'll talk about that here a little bit more. Canadiens point percentage right now, when I got this, 22%. They are currently, as I'm recording, Monday before kind of the games are kind of getting started, or actually the games are kind of getting started here with that. They're, I think, about 5 points out of the wild card spot here in the East. So this is a big game for them. There's like this team is I think struggles to, again, they're kind of a quality over quantity. I think they kind of struggle to score, and they give up a fair amount of goals as well for the Canadiens. Looking at their projected lineup, Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, that is a big line for them. Big line, and we're probably going to get a really fun matchup with that line, with the Celebrini line from the Sharks. Line 8, Newhook. Then you have Anderson, Dvorak, Gallagher, Pezzetta, Evans, Armia. And then on defense, Matheson, Carrier, Jacky, Hudson, Struble, Savard, and then Montembeault and Dobes in net right now. Not sure who's going to start with that, but players to kind of keep an eye on. Of course, that first line, Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, that's their foundational line. Those guys are probably going to play together for a while, at least until Demidov gets out here. So Hudson, of course, Lane Hudson, the defenseman, playing like dynamic playmaker. of course, him and Celebrini are going to be going at it for the Calder Trophy. Big time player to watch on the blue line there. So in this game, I think there's a lot of stuff to watch for in this game, right? One, how do the Sharks respond? One, after playing a poor game on Tuesday, they had several days off, including where they got bag skated Friday's practice. Mikael Granlund, Cody Ceci traded as the first game since then. You know, those veteran guys, especially Granlund, who has been taking on a leadership role with the Sharks since getting here. How do they respond in this game? So I am curious to see kind of what the energy level is, especially early on. Does someone try to kind of make a big play, make a big hit, whatever it is to try to kind of get the energy level up? Or has this team just kind of come out ready to go? So that's the first thing, is just kind of that the energy level of this game. 2, based on practice reports from the Sharks, it looks like Will Smith is going to be playing center in this game with Fabian. Zetterlund. I know, again, we do have some potential guys who are going to be game time decisions, including Tyler Toffoli. I kind of expect Toffoli to play, right? But like, he has been kind of in and out of the lineup here. But we could see Zetterlund, Dellandrea Smith. Maybe Dellandrea is playing the center. Maybe Smith's playing the center. But that second line versus the Canadiens' second line, and I know the defense on the second line of the Canadiens, I think whichever line, if you kind of maybe assume the first lines are a little bit of a wash, Canadiens probably have a slight edge there. But I think whoever's second line can get going, I think has a chance to kind of score some points here. And then the third thing I'm watching for is the new look defensive pairs. Walman Thrun. So Thrun's going to be getting the first opportunity to take Cody Ceci's spot. Ferraro Thompson. We talked about Thompson and how he has a real opportunity here now to kind of establish himself as an everyday NHL player for the rest of the season. And then Shakir Mukhamadullin, who was called up along with Colin Graff, Mukhamadullin, Liljegren on the third pairing. So I actually really I don't mind those defensive pairings there, because I think you have a puck mover on every pairing in Walman, Thompson, and then even the third pairing between Mukhamadullin and Liljegren. I think there's a puck mover on every pairing there. So I want to see how this new defensive group looks, especially against the top line from the Montreal Canadiens. So for this game, I still this Canadiens team is a desperate team. They have a big week this week, right? They play back-to-back Sharks, Kings, and then they go home before the break to play the Devils and the Lightning. Like, they need as many points as they can scrounge up. I think this is going to be a very desperate team in the Canadiens in this game. And I think the Sharks, I think they give it a valiant effort, but I think just the lack of talent, especially down the middle, without Granlund and with Wenberg being injured in this game, I do think the Canadiens pull away. So wouldn't be surprised if it's a tight one between, as kind of the story of the Sharks goes, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tight one for 40 minutes and then the Canadiens pull away in the third period. So put me down for a 5-2 loss for the Sharks, but I do think Celebrini actually has a multi-point. Give me a goal and assist for Celebrini, as well as I'm gonna take a Jack Thompson goal in this game as well. So I think that's how the Sharks score. Anyway, we'll have a full breakdown of this game on your next episode of Locked On Sharks, wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole.